Hello, welcome back to Tech Ambrosia Live. I'm just reading through the chat here. Yes, there is a wrinkle. You may notice that my Socket 5 board is distinctly not assembled into anything. There's a reason for that. Let's switch you over to the desk and I'll show you what's going on. So, this is not a Pentium 75. This is not a Socket 5 system, obviously, because I went to go set up my Socket 5 Pentium 75, and it refused to boot this morning. And that's because, if you notice here, it's got a Dallas clock module, and these things are notorious for dying. It's basically a tiny real-time clock chip and then an embedded lithium battery all inside this like epoxy case that's soldered to the board. So this was working the last time I tested it, and apparently between then and this morning it died. So what it does on this board is it'll post, so it'll do the power on self-test, and then it won't boot and it won't go to the BIOS. So no Pentium 75 today, unfortunately. It's real tragic because I really wanted to show it off because I've also got a working quantum Bigfoot that I wanted to use to boot this machine from, because those are freaking awesome. Anyway, so I'm going to have to desolder that Dallas and replace it probably with Necroware's Dallas replacement module. Like he makes a modern replacement for the Dallas that just lets you put a coin cell in it, which is, that's all you really need. So yeah, no Pentium 75 today. And my backup board was my 486. And so I started moving all my stuff over to the 486 board, started setting it up, and then it wouldn't power on. I'm like, okay, this board, I also tested that board and it works. It does not have a Dallas clock module, it just uses a normal button cell for its clock battery. So I moved on to this board here, which is the BioStar AM4 board that I shamed in my cheap Ryzen video for having very poor BIOS support for modern Zen 3 chips. And I plugged everything in and I turned it on, and it also refused to power on. Then I did the same for my, you can't quite see it back there, but for my my FX board. I have an AMD 970 board back there with an FX 6300 in it, which I know works. I know it works. And it did the same thing. Spun the fans for like a revolution and then stopped. And that means my beloved EVGA 650BQ power supply is dead, unfortunately. That's like my workhorse power supply. That's the one that I was using with my PCI Express test bench to test graphics cards. It's obviously no longer functioning. I'm currently running this thing on a power supply that's just above e-waste, but it is working, and that's fine. I don't care about this board. It can run on an e-waste power supply. What we're gonna do today, since I only have my e-waste power supply available to me right now, this is currently running a Ryzen 2200G APU, which is a 4-core, 4-thread, Zen 1 APU. What I have here in the package is an AM4 CPU that does not say Ryzen on it. It also does not say Athlon on it. This is one of the FX processors for AM4 that AMD launched before Zen was ready. So we're going to try that. I've spent a bit of time in the weeks leading up to this. So this is going to be a video idea. Come on. There we go. Downgrading the BIOS on this board. There's one good thing that this board can do, and it can downgrade its BIOS. A lot of BIOSes on motherboards, on AM4 motherboards, won't let you downgrade once you get to a certain point. They just won't let you install an older BIOS unless you do it manually. This one doesn't care. So I've got a BIOS on there with support for this processor. We're gonna try it out today. The downside is that I did all this stuff 20 minutes before stream. So the system I'm booting on here it's a pretty standard Windows 10 system, but we've only got a couple of games installed. This is just my gaming on cursed hardware preset. Looks like it is still, oh god, it's probably doing Windows updates at this point, because it's been a little while since it was turned on. But yeah, I've only got Starfield, Cyberpunk, and Stray on here, and Cyberpunk is not updated to the 2.0 update, and it really wants to, which I'm not letting it, because it's going to be enormous, take forever. Starfield's up to date though, it does run. I checked it before stream, and Stray I just installed Stray, so I know it works, and I hope it works. We're gonna run some games on that FX chip, and it's gonna be bad. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so let's let Windows Update do its thing, and let's chat. Let's chat old hardware and how stuff never works when you want it to, huh? How about that? Let's see if I can get this thing shut down without being able to see my start menu. Yeah, there we go. I'll just cheat. Do Windows updates on stream. It's great. I don't recommend doing this. This is a bad idea. But alright. So how's chat? How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's had a fairly calm week. I know I haven't. My god, this week has been complete hell. I don't know what's going on with it. It has just been a nightmare. I'm very glad to have the weekend. Let's see how everybody's doing. Hello, Jack68K. Welcome to the stream. Sorry you aren't able to stay for long. Hopefully you got to hear the wrinkle, sadly. I don't know when I'm going to be able to get this machine back up and running. I'm going to try and get it soon-ish, but like my spending right now is zero. I really can't spend any money. I've got a bunch of expenses coming up in a couple of weeks, and then again at the end of next month. So I can't spend any money on it right now. Yeah. Ryzen 9 3900 XT, you were here first. Hello, welcome to the stream, glad to see you. Yes, AM4 FX. AM4 FX. Alright, let's say hi to folks. I have not said hi to everybody. So, Ryzen 9, welcome to the stream. Clarjon 1 Plus, welcome to the stream. Welcome back. Chaz Linux, welcome to the stream. Good to see you here. Jack68K, hello, goodbye, whenever you have to leave. Gutbomb, hello, welcome to the stream. Sorry, it's not a Pentium 75. Garth Beagle, welcome to the stream. Good to see ya. Dave's Vintage Appletech, hello, welcome to the stream. Garth says, what could go wrong? Or, wronger. A lot. A lot could go wronger. One Bit Fever Dreams, welcome to the stream. Yes, you heard games. We're gonna play games on the last AMD FX processors ever produced, which were the A series APUs for AM4, which are definitely a thing that happened. Oh. PC Sound Legacy, welcome to the stream. Glad to see ya. Just checking in with stream here while this pile does some Windows updates. And I just heard my UPS go off, so that's good. Today has been nothing for Amber Works tech-wise. I tried to take pictures of the eclipse this morning. I charged up like 7 batteries overnight. And all of them died by the time I got out to go take pictures of the eclipse. I got like 20 pictures of the eclipse across two different cameras and my phone. Instead of like, you know, I was planning on taking photos all morning of the thing, but no, it's I can show you what I got out of the eclipse. I have 2 like really decent ones that I liked. I've got this one, which is the shadows in the parking lot. which was pretty cool because they're all little eclipses on the ground. And then this I got out of my 1D Mark II with the 100 to 300L, with a lot of ND filter on the front of it, and it worked out pretty nicely. So yeah, I did actually manage to take some pictures of the eclipse, despite all of my tech trying to ruin it for me. And then it's been a complete the whole day has just been everything breaks for Amber. Oh my gosh, I thought one of my VGA cards was dead. I thought I thought my 486 was dead. It's probably not. It's probably that power supply. I don't know why the Pentium 75 board would post with that power supply, and the 486 wouldn't, unless the power supply died in between testing the Pentium and the 486 this morning. But yeah, I lost a power supply this morning. All the batteries I charged overnight died. My UPS just went off. Looks like power's back on though, but like, oh gosh, it's just been every single thing today has just not gone according to plan if it's technology. I blame the eclipse. It's silly, but I blame the eclipse. That's what's going on today. Although I have to say it was really cool. You know, you're seeing celestial bodies move past one another. You're basically watching like the second hand of the galaxy tick over. It's really cool. It was really cool to see. It was a fun time. So let's see if this thing is done updating. Gaming on cursed hardware. It is not done updating because of course it isn't, because this is Windows we're talking about. Speaking of Windows, I tried to set up this stream setup I usually try about 2 hours before stream to make sure I can get all of my wrinkles ironed out, and I didn't get all the wrinkles today. I started up early, around noon actually, trying to get stream set up, and the first time I started up OBS today, Windows was just like, I don't think any of your cameras exist. Oh really? Unplug the camera, plug it back in. All of my USB devices just fell off the USB bus. Keyboard, mouse, microphone, Bluetooth, my Bluetooth dongle, everything just all falls off the USB bus. And comes back up, and I'm like, what is going on? This whole day has just been like, what? How? So while that updates, let's chat. How's it going for y'all? You having a good Saturday so far? Martin Tardif, hello, welcome to the stream. Gutbomb says, do you have some digital clock in your house that thinks it's still Friday the 13th? Friday the 13th is always a lucky day for me. Apparently it's Saturday the 14th that's my bad luck day. One Bit says it's the collab with Everything is Broken Garage. We didn't know we were getting. Yes, everything is broken in Amber's lab. Yes, indeed. Clarjon 1 Plus says the updates never end. They really don't. They really never end. Unbelievable. One Bit says marathon update idea. Upgrade from DOS 6.2.2 all the way to Windows 11. Could probably make that happen. You'd have to use like the Rufus tool where you can install Windows 11 on unsupported hardware to like get up to Windows 11, because you could start on like a Core 2 machine, because that would probably run like, if you want to go like DOS, Win98, you know, XP, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, whatever. You could probably do it on a Core 2, I would think. You could technically run DOS on this Ryzen, although Windows 98 is probably not going to boot on it. DOS doesn't care what it runs on. As long as it's an x86, it does not care. But Windows is a little bit more finicky about that. Hello! Edison Lima, welcome to the stream. I'm glad to have you here. Sorry it's not a Socket 5 Pentium 75. I guess I should tell folks, since we've got more folks in the stream. So, I tried this morning, as I was prepping for stream, I decided I'm going to test this board and make sure it's working so I have something to show on stream, right? It's just basic due diligence, right? And if you notice right down here, this board has a Dallas real-time clock chip, which are notorious for dying unexpectedly and then causing weird boot issues. And this one has indeed kicked the bucket. And in this board, it means that it will post, so it'll do the power on self-test, so you get the memory check, and then the BIOS will try and detect drives, and then it won't boot. It will not boot. It just freezes on boot. And that includes not just booting, but also getting to the BIOS. So this thing is pretty effectively borked until I can get that desoldered and replaced. I'm probably just going to use one of Necroware's replacement modules because he's got a really good modular design that uses like a clock battery and a little real-time clock chip. It's very cool. I'm gonna throw that in here, I think. But that means I'm gonna need to desolder it and buy the clock chip stuff and resolder everything. So it's gonna be a while before this board runs again, unfortunately. But, me being me, I planned for this. Because, of course, why would things go correctly? So I planned for it by getting my 486 board ready to go, or at least I thought I could get my 486 board ready to go. And I assembled that all together and started testing out components, and it also refused to boot. Actually, it refused to post even. And God, I spent about an hour turning my apartment upside down, trying to find one of my PC speakers so I could see what the beep codes were, but I couldn't find any. So I gave up on the 486 since I couldn't really troubleshoot it and it wasn't giving me any indication of anything. So I decided to pull this board out. This is kind of a meme board. It's a BioStar A320MH, currently running a Ryzen 2200G APU. But the plan is to throw this FX-based APU in there. This is an A1097 something. I don't even remember. It's hot garbage, but it runs in this board. And BioStar, for all their not letting you upgrade this board to support the newest Ryzen chips, they do at least let you downgrade the BIOS. So I've got a BIOS on here that's compatible with this chip, so we can run that today. Yeah, I also tried using my my FX 6300 board, which I know works. I know it works. I've tried it very recently and I know it works. And when that didn't power on correctly, I knew something was up. And I think that something is my EVGA 650BQ has finally kicked the bucket, which is unfortunate because it was a workhorse power supply for me. Anyway, that's the whole story so far today. It's been a day of tech not working. Oh yeah, and before even starting the stream stuff, I tried to go take pictures of the eclipse because the eclipse went right over my house. And I managed to get a couple of pictures, but I charged up like 6 batteries for the day last night, and I took them off the charger this morning and drove out to where I was going to look at the eclipse. None of the batteries worked. So I got like 24 pics maybe. These are the 2 that I got back that I really liked. I've got some of the shadows of the leaves on the parking lot here. They're little eclipses. It's really cute. And then I got a decent picture just before full annularity on my 1D with the 100 to 300 f4L or f5.6L. So yeah, that's been my morning. It's been a heck of a morning, and oh my gosh, can it end? Can it end? This is not Friday the 13th. This is Saturday the 14th. This is supposed to be okay. My gosh. So let's see if this thing is done updating it. It's not. Oh. I think that was a reboot. I think it is finalizing updates after the reboot. I think we might be in business. Finally. Again, this is running the 2200G. Imagine if I had like swapped processors and then tried to do Windows updates. Oh my gosh. You know what I need to put on this though is I need to put Cinebench on this. Maybe not 2024. I don't think 2024 will actually work on the A10, but maybe R23. How is chat doing? Hello, Starbuck Tech. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you here. Yes, Jazz Linux says, seeing progress is always good. Yes, it is. Hopefully this will finish up. Like, now, please. Let's get on with the stream. Oh my gosh. What a day. David Starbuck says, try Windows 10 on the Pentium. I dare you. It will go very badly. I think it needs at least a... Is it at least a Pentium 3? I think it needs SSE in order to run. Ah, yep. PC Sound Legacy says, I have the same board and a Pentium 66. It needed the Dallas mod to get running. Yeah. It did at least work. Like, I know the board works. I was able to get it to boot a couple of times before the Dallas finally died, so I do know the board works. So it's just a matter of getting this Dallas desoldered and getting a new one installed. It's just frustrating. It's just frustrating. 1bit says Vista unmentioned. Indeed. I've got. It was a donation, or a temporary donation to the channel, although I've lost contact with the person who donated it. I have release candidate 1 for Windows Vista, so we can always check out that. I'm sure that's very stable and quite fast. like all of Vista. All right. And yes, this was not meant to be. Oh my god, go away. Windows has gotten so bad. My Windows exit strategy is I'm only going to use it for VR and like games and stuff, and that's about it, because it's just become absolutely untenable. It's just a nag or an ad or something every freaking day, I swear. It's so bad. Alright, so yeah, we've got Starfield on here, which is up to date, Stray, which I just installed, and Cyberpunk, which is pre-2.0, but I'm guessing GOG is going to try and update it. Please don't. I don't have the bandwidth to update Cyberpunk and stream at the same time. Can you not? Oh no, where is my Cyberpunk? Okay, good. It's not updating it. Excellent. Nope, it's updating. Nope, stop. Stop. Stop updating. There we go. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, we can do some, like, initial benchmarking and see, like, what the 2200G can do, and then I'll swap in the, A10, and it'll be bad. Let's see. I don't think I have Afterburner on here, actually. Let me double check. Nope. Sure don't. What is... No, don't be full screen. What are you doing? Another pop-up for Firefox. That's great. Alright. I'm just waiting for the day when a browser gets shipped with an Electron interface. Like, yo dog, heard you like browsers. Let's put a browser in your browser. Oh gosh. Let's get Cinebench R23 on here, and let's get MSI Afterburner. I bet there's a Guru 3D link for that. Yep. Guru 3D, where did you hide it? Oh. There we go. This is bad. I don't like this. I really shouldn't have put my portrait up in the upper right corner. I can't click on any of the widgets. It's a bad idea. Let's put me down here for now. That'll be fine. Okay. Unblock Afterburner. Ryzen 9 says R23 is better than R24. It's pretty much the same stuff. Everybody's score goes down on 2024 though. That's mean. PC Sound Legacy asks, Amber, is your P75 featuring the FDiv bug, or is it a newer revision? I think it's a newer revision. It's gold top, but I think the FDiv bug was only on socket 4 machines. I'm pretty sure. And this is socket 5. So this is... So the S spec on this is SX961. I think that's post FDiv. I'm pretty sure. Here, I'll show you. You can see it here. That is the chip. It's your standard socket 5 gold top Pentium. SX961. Let me double check that S step. There, the S spec. New window. Pentium. Come on, Windows. Don't highlight the field if I can't type in it. This operating system, I swear. SX961. FDiv. I'm pretty sure it's only socket 4 Pentiums, and even then only the early steppings. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I would be surprised if it did. Because as far as I know, the FDiv bug was only on the like really, really, really early Pentiums, like the socket 4 ones. Apostle CV. Hello, welcome to the stream. And yes, yeah, I don't think it's an FDiv bug Pentium. I don't think it's old enough. Oh geez, I have not set this machine up yet. It still has to install DirectX. Jeez. It's been a morning. It has been a morning, y'all. Oh yeah. David Starbuck says, I have fond memories of my Pentium 166 with a Voodoo 1 and Quake Deathmatch over dial-up. Yeah, yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. So the whole reason I wanted to do the Pentium 75, let me go grab it while this installs. The whole reason I wanted to do the Pentium 75 today is that this arrived, and this, let me switch to the desktop view here. There we go. Yeah, look at that sucker. So I have kind of a thing, I guess, for old quantum Bigfoots. This is the fourth one I've bought so far, trying to find a decent running example, and this one works. This one works 100%. This is a Rev 1, 1.2 gigabyte. It's actually 1,280 megabytes. I think 3,600 RPMs. It is. This sucker is vintage. This is from like 1996. So way back in high school, which would have been around 96, 97, 98 for me. Um, we had a computer lab that was full of compact Pentium 120s. You know, they're little like squat desktop machines with like some curves molded into the front plastic. The rest of it is just a white box, and not even beige, just a white box. And every single one of those things, right? They had like a set of drives on the side, of two 5 1/4 inch drives on the side, and if you open the cover of one of those, because I would frequently help the AV computer club or department with maintaining the things, and you open the cover of it, and you know you've got your drives in there, and then right at the bottom of the case, sitting right there in the bottom of the case, is one of these Bigfoots, and I really loved them. We ended up dismantling that lab at one point. I don't remember when, but I managed to snag one of these, and I took it home to my 486 at home, which at that point was an AMD 5x86 133. So I threw this in there with on-track, of course, because my 486 couldn't handle a hard drive this massive, 1.2 gigabytes. I don't remember if it was the 1.2 or the 2.3, but this was this was a lot of hard drive for the time, a lot of hard drive, and I loved it. I love the noises they make, because they make a unique sound being as large as they are, and like you can see, this is like one giant cast piece here, right? Like this whole top piece is cast, and you've got a giant cast bottom piece. They make fun noises, and like they work okay. They're not exactly super fast, but yeah. I was extremely surprised when I picked this one up off eBay. It was listed as tested working, but you know, you order a hard drive off eBay, it's a coin flip whether it's going to work by the time it gets to you. And thankfully this one did, despite being packaged a little questionably. So I'm very happy that this one actually works. My other three are in various states of unhappiness. I've got a final fourth revision version, the TS, that's like it's got the like enterprise looking stamped steel plate on the front, with the black rails around the side. That one works about halfway. About half of the platter space on it works. Once you get out to a certain point, like 5 or 6 gigabytes into the drive, it just stops working. It just goes into an error state. It stops accepting data from the ATA controller. And then I've got a pair of think they're CYs. I think they're second gen. They might be this revision, actually. They might be first generation. But one of them spins up and seems okay, except it just makes like random seeking noises. You know, it spins up, there's no head crash noises, there's no click of death, it just like seems to make random seeking noises while it's on. And I mean like random, not like you know, rhythmic click of death or anything, just random seeking noises. The other one I have though, spools up and then the actuator, the heads try and move out onto the platters and they run straight into the side of the platters. It makes the most horrible noise. So my thinking is with those two is I could probably do a board swap and get the good board off of the drive with the crashed heads and then put it on the board that apparently, they put it on the drive where the board apparently can't read any data off the heads because I don't know why. But maybe I can make another working one out of these. But this one works and it's freaking awesome. I love it. And I really wanted to get this thing running in a Pentium today. I guess that's just going to have to wait. Hopefully this will wait with us until that time and won't die on a shelf. But yeah, that's that was the whole reason I wanted to do that today. Was this massive slab of hard drive. Look at this thing. A big old Bigfoot. 5 1/4 inch half height hard drive. I know it's not the oldest thing you can get, you know, like the old Seagates and Connors are bigger physically in size, but you know, these have a special place in my heart because they're silly. These were made at a time when you wouldn't see, you know, 5 1/4 inch drives. All hard drives at this point were 3.5 inches, and it was just weird that Quantum came out with these. It's fun. It's a fun little anachronism. I'm glad that they did because these are really interesting and I like them a lot. I don't think they're collectible or anything, but I think they're neat. I just think they're neat. Alright, so all of that out of the way, let's see how Windows is getting along. Hooray! It has finished installing things. Wonderful. Great, we have Afterburner. It doesn't really have any idea what's going on with the APU. That's perfect. Did this finish downloading? That's a part file. I'm guessing this did not download correctly. Failed. Nice. Thanks. Okay. PC Sound Legacy says, the gold cap CPUs are beautiful. Same with the K5 and the 6x86s. I agree. I also have a gold cap K5 and I really, really love it. It's one of my favorite CPUs of all time. It's a good chip. David Starbucks says, I had 2 of those, the Bigfoot, in my post-college computer build. Yeah, it was a cheap way to get a lot of storage. Cheap way to get a lot of storage. Chaz Linux says, Compaq were pretty interesting as they used to etch all kinds of wacky patterns in their motherboards. Palm trees, a testarossa, etc. That's kind of cool. I didn't know that. That's kind of fun. Timo says, wait, there was a song that was killing hard drives. Yes. Yeah, there's a Janet Jackson song that apparently resonates at just the right frequency to, like, screw up a hard drive, or at least a laptop hard drive. Chaz Linux says, the hard drive worked until today. Yeah, Honestly, given the day I've had, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. Yep, yeah, Timo said Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation. Yep. There was some kind of a resonant frequency in it that messed up hard drives. Yeah, after 2005, the song stopped working that way. I I think there's a notch filter put in to like sound processing, which is weird. Like you think about it, like that's a weird way to like manage this very strange edge case. But I think there was a notch filter put in place for that frequency. Gut Bomb says I had a Bigfoot in '97 too. Lots of quick. Yeah, yeah. That was what we were gonna do today. I'm so sorry. I'm so annoyed with my Pentium. Gut Bomb says my daughter Bianca says she loves you. She loves my skirt. Well, thank you. I picked up a pack of these on Amazon several years ago now, and I wish I could find them again because they're really nice. They're really nice, and they're starting to wear out, and I could really use some replacements. And they're really hard to find now. HC says, hi, what did I miss? My first PC was a Pentium 75. Well, you missed me explaining that the Pentium 75 is a no-go. Not because of the processor. The processor itself is fine. I just had it out of the motherboard to show off here. But this board, grab this board and show you. But this board has the kiss of death. A Dallas real-time clock chip. And that is no bueno, my friends. That decided to kick the bucket this morning as I was testing this to put something together for stream. And yeah, it's not booting. It'll post, but it won't go to the BIOS, and it won't boot at all. Apparently without me removing and replacing the Dallas real-time clock chip. So I don't have a replacement of any kind on hand, so it's not getting replaced, at least not yet. So it's going to be a little bit before the Pentium rides again, sadly. But when it does, it's going to have probably the clock chip replacement module from Necroware, because he's making a really good like modular replacement for these Dallas chips. Yes, HC says, can it be fixed? It can. I have to desolder the existing Dallas, and then Necroware, I should put the link in here, but Necroware has a replacement module. Necroware Dallas replacement. That's very cool. It's very slick. Here, he's got the specs out on GitHub. That's the replacement for the Dallas real-time clock. And yeah, it's a bummer. I kind of thought, like, when I first booted it and it worked, I'm like, it's limited time for this thing to actually function. And I was right, unfortunately. It decided today was the day it was not going to work. Which is really annoying. David Starbuck says, my first PC was a Tandy 2500/25, a 386 machine. Parted out in 1995 and all the usable stuff went into my first PC build, a next-gen P100 based system. Lots of Duke Nukem 3D. Very nice. Very nice. Those next-gen chips, those are super rare these days. Once AMD bought the next-gen team, yeah, didn't see those ever again. Yep. No Blue Sky says, F in the chat. The internal battery died, yeah, unfortunately. The Dallases aren't super complicated. It's basically, you have a real-time clock chip, which is very small, and then you've got a lithium battery, what is the term for that? It's a battery that can't be recharged, a primary battery. And they put it in there and they epoxy everything up and they stamp their logo on it, and then it works for an indeterminate amount of time. In this case, almost 30 years, so that's not bad, but the unfortunate part is that most motherboard makers, especially like this is a Gateway 2000, and none of the OEMs cared that this motherboard wasn't going to work, even 3 years after they made it, let alone 30. So none of them put these things in sockets, which would make replacing them a breeze. So they almost universally, the Dallas clock chips are soldered to the board, and you just have to get them off. And the issue with it is that they're always in some awkward position. Like this one's not going to be too bad, but it is around a couple of ICs. And thankfully, like it's got a few pins. Like it's not just 4 pins, one on each corner. There's a few pins in there to get off of. It's a dip, it's dual inline package. Through hole soldered into the board, so you got to pull all those pins out, and it's kind of a pain, but I'm definitely doing it for this board because I love that Pentium. Got to get it working. Got to play some Quake on it. Oh, Gamer1990 is back. I didn't have any luck getting Win9X to work, even with the file edit. That is unfortunate. Yeah, sometimes you just have too much RAM. And if it's not that, then it's going to be USB issues, because Windows 98 has kind of iffy USB support, especially because Microsoft made the gigabrain decision to make like USB HID devices, human input devices, have drivers. Like you have to get a specific patch set to have a Win98 install that's got the auto selecting, auto installing HID drivers in the system ready to go. Otherwise, if you plug a USB keyboard in, it's going to pop up a very helpful dialog box saying, "Hey, do you want to install a driver for this keyboard or for this mouse?" Where you can't click anything or interact with anything because your keyboard or mouse doesn't work until you have a driver for it. It's extremely frustrating. I think they fixed that on SE, Win98 SE, and I'm pretty sure all the community patches of it roll that HID driver in so that it's there and ready in case you plug in a USB mouse. But at that point, then also, you gotta hope that your USB chipset has support for Windows 98, either through a legacy mode or through actually having drivers. Like if you have, I don't even know what would have drivers in Win98 for USB, but that's, yeah, 98 on new hardware is really tough. 98 on new hardware is very tough. That's why I was so surprised that I got so much working on my Athlon 64. I was very surprised. Mostly because it was a VIA chipset, and VIA, for whatever reason, just made drivers for things for forever. You could get really, really recent VIA chipset releases with Win98 drivers. Anyway. No Blue Sky says, in critical industry settings, people have to dig into the chip and solder an external battery to the traces to retain RTC power and NVRAM content. Yes. Yes, indeed. And I've seen that done. It is a fairly popular mod. If you don't want to desolder it and replace it, you can just start digging into it. It's just a box full of epoxy, and you can dig into it and disconnect that battery, and then jumper those leads into a button cell, and yeah, you can get your real-time clock back and get your BIOS settings back. Absolutely. Oh, Gamer says it wasn't a USB issue. Yeah, well, sometimes it doesn't happen. Apostle asks, Ambrosia, do you have a Radeon 9700 Pro in your collection? I don't have a 9700 Pro, I do have a 9800 Pro, so I do have R300 on hand. You gotta have one, because they're quintessential DirectX 9 graphics cards. Just incredible. Gamer says it kept crashing when trying to install Windows. It would hard lock the GPU. Weird. That is weird. Alright, so we should have, there we go, Cinebench finally downloaded. And we've got MSI Afterburner installed. So let's do some benchmarking. So we'll collect a little bit of data on how this APU runs Starfield, Cyberpunk, and Stray, and then we'll swap in the A10. It's not a Pentium 75, but it's pretty cursed. HC says all my 9X100 Pro cards died. Yeah, so there's I think there's a manufacturing defect with them where the lip on the edge of the die is actually higher than the die itself. So they never quite get adequate cooling. I haven't double checked mine. Mine still functions. I'm hesitant to use it because of that. Like it does still work. So like, how long? For how long is it gonna work? But I do want to like try and get that lip pulled off of there or something. I don't even know what to get it back into safe operating condition. Clarge on OnePlus says, "Love me some cursed things." Oh yeah, we're gonna do cursed things. So, full disclosure, I used to use an AMD FX-based APU on the FM2 platform as my daily driver for a long time, way back. I bought into Socket FM2 when it was new, because I was a dork, but also it was really cheap, and I needed a PC. And I didn't mind them, actually. Like, I used that machine for several years, and it did just fine for what I asked it to do. It wasn't, I'm not gonna say it was particularly amazing, but you know, it did what I needed it to do. I was just playing games, mostly just MMOs and stuff, so like not super CPU demanding games. And it did the trick. It did the trick. At one point I put in a GeForce 465, so Fermi, which was faster, but like even with Fermi, even with a not full Fermi die, the CPU was holding back the GPU. Kinda pathetic. Kinda pathetic. And of course we can, so this board, we can put, of course, an external GPU in this board once we get the FX chip in there. But this board has a bad trace, like one of the pins in the PCI Express socket way back there in like lane 15 is bent, and I cannot bend it back no matter what I try. Every time I get it bent back, it just springs back to where it is. So I can't use a GPU in it that has all 16 PCI Express lanes, which isn't really a problem considering the performance level of the CPU we're talking about here. But like, anyway, this board is cursed. This board is totally cursed. So let's see what the 2200G can do in Cinebench first. David Starbucks says, I kind of want to build a retro video capture PC for archiving VCR and Laserdisc movies, but my modern setup works very well. Yeah. It's, the thing I always found weird about capturing, like, composite video, or, you know, NTSC video at all, whether it's on, you know, VHS tape or Laserdisc, is that the interlacing. It just doesn't translate really well to non-interlaced displays. It always looks weird. It always looks weird. Let's see, what do we have for our scores over here? Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be anywhere near the top of this list. Pretty sure. Let's see. The bottom of the list is Tiger Lake, an 1165 G7. So mobile 11th gen. That's not a far throw from 12th gen. You know, Tiger Lake was pretty fast. It just didn't clock very high. I don't think we're gonna get there. Oh, I do not want to run this for 10 minutes. Holy cow. No, Cinebench. I got stuff to do. Let's not run this for 10 minutes. I got stuff to do. Ain't nobody got time for that. David Starbuck says you can de-interlace using OBS. So, does it preserve the frame rate? Because I know technically, like, it's NTSC video is 30 frames per second, 60 fields per second. But does it like, because I always like the fluidity of like, because of course I want to capture like vintage game consoles running through composite, and if you capture the full frame, both fields, then it's all of your game consoles run at 30 FPS. But you know, obviously, if you play them on a CRT, they run at 60 FPS. Well, they're 60 fields per second. So, it's weird. It's weird. Oh, PC Sound Legacy says I have a Radeon 9500 that is modded to a 9700. Oh, nice. David Starbuck says yes, frame rate is untouched. Nice, nice. Oh yeah, no, if it's resistor modded, that can also do it. AMD really loved to do that. Well, AMD and ATI really loved to do that back in the day. To just put a couple of traces on the die PCB, and yeah, suddenly it's a lower spec chip, except you could just, you know, cross those traces, replace the resistors, and get a better chip. Ryzen 9 says, wow, that makes my old i5 9400F look good. Yeah, we're not even into the pain zone yet. This is Zen 1. Just wait. Stuff is gonna get even worse. HC says, I'm tempted to get the new Microsoft Studio laptop too. I don't know. How long will they support it, you know? Like, they dropped the Surface Duo like a hot rock. I'm not surprised. Like, I'm not surprised that they dropped it, because, like, it ran Android. I wish they'd never... Side note, I wish they'd never let go of, or shuttered, Windows Phone. Windows Phone was nice. It was an actually reasonable UI for a phone. No Blue Sky says, de-interlacing is almost science. Using a frame server like Avisynth or VaporSynth and a lot of filters is a way to do it. Yeah, see, there's several reasons I haven't bothered trying to, like, capture or record or stream composite, and that's one of them. That is definitely one of them. There we go, 34, 23 points out of Zen 1. That puts us firmly at the bottom? Yes. Firmly at the bottom, behind the 4-core, less than 2 gigahertz Tiger Lake CPU. We're about, I don't know, not quite 50% the speed of a 7700K, which is not great. It's not great. Oh, come on, OBS. There we go. Wow. All right, so let's save that. Let's use the right cursor to save that. Oh my God. Can I save it? Will it let me save it? It will not let me save it. Let's take a screenshot of it because that's my life now. Okay. Let's see what the iGPU can do with. Let's start with Stray. We'll start with the easiest one. We'll give it the best shot. Oh boy. Oh yeah, I should turn. Actually, I should turn on Riva Tuner. Monitoring. I hate to have to turn this on every single time. I don't need the temperature. Give me the usage. Da, 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 da. Core clock. Oh my God, go away. Why? Why are the tooltips so huge? Okay, CPU usage. CPU clock. Here we go, CPU power. I'm sure that's going to be accurately reported. Frame rate, frame time. Okay, finally. Will it work, or will I have to reboot for it to work? Who knows? Let's find out. Yeah, Timus is like the last Nokia phone had those top model camera phones back then. Yeah, like it was a reasonable, like you could use a Windows phone, and like it wasn't a compromised experience. You know, like by the time they got to the end, Windows Phone was really competent. And everybody I talked to that used it liked it. They really liked it. Like the UI was responsive. It made sense. It was easy to customize. I don't know. Apostle says, have you had any successful experience using motherboards based on VIA's chipsets? Yes. VIA generally, like, I have some hate for VIA, mostly because of their horrible chipsets back in the slot 1 era. Like some of the Apollo chipsets back then were just the hottest of hot garbage. Because it really depended on the motherboard manufacturer to like set up all the stuff in the board's registry settings to like make it perform well, and a lot of motherboard manufacturers just didn't. So you just got these motherboards that just were terrible. They were slow, and mostly they were slow. That was the big issue with them. Like they were very slow, like slower than like 440LX, which just shouldn't happen. But the thing about VIA motherboards is, do I have stuff in the corner I'm missing? OBS. Why do you think I want that one? Yes, I do have stuff in the corner I'm missing. Okay. Accept. Alright, let's do... I did start over just to play through a little bit. We'll start there, because it's not far along in the game. Let's see how bad this is. I have no idea what the settings are. I probably should have checked that. But the good part about VIA boards, especially later, once you got into, God, what was it? The Apollo Pro 133A and later, it's like Apollo 4 and stuff. I think it was Apollo 4. The one that they built for the Tualatin chips, like that was very good. Performance was good. It was extremely compatible. And the thing about VIA boards is that they kept being really compatible all the way through to when VIA stopped making boards and chipsets. And that compatibility is gold today, honestly. Like, sure, everybody wants, everybody wants an N-Force board, or an ALI. If you're doing a SuperSocket 7 build, right, like you want an ALI Aladdin 5 because it's the fastest chipset for the socket. But they also are super difficult to like get running well, and there's always compatibility issues with them, unless you get like a specific brand of Aladdin 5 board, where the VIA MVP3s generally just work. Oh god, we're already at 720p and it's slow. Oh geez. Oh geez. This is gonna be bad. Okay, so we're on a high preset. That's probably why. Let's do medium. Let's see how medium works. Apply the changes. That's better. We're up from 16 FPS to a cinematic 23. It feels weird to play this game with a keyboard. What is the key I need to press there? Q? Q for scritching. Oh, and it's left and right mouse button. That's so weird. I'm used to playing this on controller. It does not feel right on keyboard. Scritches the kittens. Alright, so there's 720p medium at 20-ish FPS. Yikes. It's pretty bad. That is pretty bad. Jump up here. Yes. Knock stuff off the shelf. Alright, so 22, 23 FPS, not great, not amazing. 720p medium. Let's remember that. Because it's gonna get bad, I'm sure. I'm sure. How bad do you think Starfield's gonna run on this? Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, PC Sound Legacy says VIA made some decent chipsets in the Athlon XP era. VIA on SuperSocket 7 is okay as well. The one SuperSocket 7 motherboard I have that works is the one that I played around with on stream a couple of weeks ago now. But yeah, that's a VIA MVP3, and it runs really nicely. And also, lots of features, and it's very compatible. Yeah, and Enforce sadly, as Apostle is saying, is Enforce likes to burn itself. There are some decisions that were made there when NVIDIA made the Enforce chipset. Is this thing actually loading? What is going on? Fans running. God, I think it's actually loading the game. Very slowly. No way. There we go. Yep, nope, it was loading the game. Holy cow. It just took over the whole system. Alright. It's gonna have to compile shaders. Yeah, there we go. Oh god, is it gonna have to compile shaders on the FX? I think it is. Oh, this is gonna be so bad. Oh, this is gonna be so bad. GPU utilization is at 1067%. Starbuck Texas, and then there was smoke. I hope not. I've had enough stuff break today. HC says time to upgrade. No, you don't understand, HC. We are downgrading today. Are they building the shaders out of Lego? I just hope it doesn't have to do this again when we switch over to the FX CPU. That's going to be so bad. Oh, have a good one, Apostle. It's good to see you. Have a good rest of your day. Yeah, it really is. HC says, wow, that's taking forever. It really, really is. In fact, is it maybe frozen? We've got a donut of death. Fallout engine is so bad. It is what it is. PC Sound Legacy says, at least it'll run Doom and DOSBox. That's true. That is very true. I'm gonna let this keep going and see if it finishes. I don't know. I'm skeptical. Not bad, Timo. Not bad. 7600X is a pretty fair machine. I'm waiting for like a really decent like RAM tuning guide. Well, also I've got a 5600X 3D and a 5800X 3D. Like I don't need an AM5 system. Hey, it finally alt-tabbed over to Task Manager. It looks like it is actually still building those shaders. It is just chugging, doing it. We haven't run out of RAM. I mean, we're close, but I think we are still running. There we go. Starfield is responding again. Ooh, excuse me. What is this thing doing? Oh, there we go. Okay. So Starfield did finally build all of its shaders. Okay. So, if we load up, I haven't, this exit save here is in New Atlantis. So it's very early in the game. Again, no worries, no spoilers. This is pretty much gonna be a worst case scenario, I think, for this machine. Yeah. David Starbucks says, why do I hear the Jeopardy song playing? Pretty much. I don't know if anybody watched my my last video. Oh my god, that looks awful. Holy cow. I don't know if anybody watched my last video on why you should build a system out of an APU if you can. Especially if you're not sure if you can, like, put all the money together all at once. But, dang. I'm very glad that that AMD has decided to put integrated graphics into their CPUs, just build them in, just build them into the I/O die, even if it's nothing special, because then you don't need a GPU to just use the stupid machine, which is nice. Yeah, PC Sound Legacy says settings to low and 720p might work. I think we're already there, my friend. I think we are already there. Oh, we are at... Oh, this is 1080p. We are on low settings. Minimum render resolution scale. Although it is 1080p low. So, yeah, maybe. So this is... Oh, see, it'll only run in a window. Let's turn it down to, let's say 900p. So there's 900p in a window, which is gross. Oh, that looks so bad. Gosh, that looks so bad. I think it's actually slower than it was in full screen. Oh, alright. Can I can mouse out while I'm in the menu. So let's set this to, we'll set it to oh my god, finally. There we go. Let's set it to 720p. Somewhere. Windows? Where? There it is. A bunch of weird resolutions between 1080p and 720p. Okay, so we go back into Starfield. Settings, display, borderless full screen. There we go. Oh, 720p low. Oh boy, I'm pretty sure there's a game underneath all that. That is 16 frames per second on the APU. This is on the 2200G. I'm honestly kind of surprised that it works. But yikes, look at the CPU usage. 98%. Like, I don't think we'd get any more performance if we plugged a GPU into this thing. Which is kind of sad. Gareth says it's so stylized. Yes, it has a painterly effect. Oh, this is so bad. Yikes. I'm tempted to throw like the 6650 into this thing and just see like 0 increase in frame rate, but I'm gonna save that for the FX processor because it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be so bad. Oh, let me save a screenshot of this because that's just awful. I love the GPU usage percentage, 1067%. That's great. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. Let's, I'm not even gonna try Cyberpunk. Let's put the FX CPU in here. Let's do some pain. I'm gonna have to do that again. I'm gonna move the stupid thing again. Okay. Shut down. Okay. So I've got isopropyl alcohol. Let's flip y'all over to the desk. There we go. All right. So yeah, I'm just using the Wraith Stealth, which should be fine for the A10. I don't think it really matters. I think the TJ Maxx increased when they moved it over to the 14 nanometer process. I guess the 16 nanometer process. That right? Didn't it? Who's got a Wikipedia open? Did AMD manage to raise the TJ Maxx of the A10 once they moved it over to AM4? Because it was on a different process at that point, wasn't it? Didn't they put it on Glofo's 16 nanometer? Because like forever, FX CPUs, because they were on the 32 nanometer process, like you couldn't get them past like 72 degrees Celsius. Like that was their TJ Maxx. It was ridiculous. You had CPUs that were like, 150 watts, 175 watts, and they couldn't go past like 75 degrees Celsius, or they'd just self-destruct. Somebody can check that out and see if I'm crazy or not. I would love to know. So let's go ahead and undo this Wraith Stealth. Who's got the over-under on whether this CPU cooler comes off with the CPU straight out of the socket? What were your bets? Who thought it came off with the CPU? It did not. There we go. Okay. All right. Got a little Arctic MX4. Here we go. Fresh from China. What version is this? The A10. 97 something, I don't know. It's not marked on here. Processor part number is AD970BA GM44AB. I don't know which one that is. There weren't a ton of these. They did not make a ton of AM4 CPUs, or AM4 FX processors. Did I put that in? Oh my. Is this a bent pins? No way. Backwards? No. Oh my god, does this have bent pins? It does have bent pins, holy cow. Where's my mechanical pencil? Shoot. It's way too big. It's way too big to bend these pins. It's all the pins on the edge. Oh, this is probably shipped in a paper envelope or something. I don't remember. Because the packaging it was shipped in is squishy. So it didn't do anything to protect the processor while it was being shipped. Oh, bent pins. At least if they're bent on the processor, you have a pretty good chance of fixing them. If they're bent on your motherboard, good luck. Good luck. Oh, that one does not feel very strong. Please stay in there. Please stay in there. Oh, don't miss this. Okay, any more. That one's bent just a little bit. That's the three on the corner that are all bent inwards. So this was shipped in a soft package. Okay, I think that's it. Should go in that way. Hey, look at that. All right. Bent pins, bent pins. Ryzen 9 has found the stuff. It is an A10 9700 28 nanometers, so no, they did not move it to the 16 nanometer process. So no, it probably has the stupid, TDP issues. Okay, given that, thank you Ryzen 9, given that, I think I'm gonna switch the cooler. Wraith Stealth is fine for the Ryzens, because they can boost up to like 85 Celsius, that's fine. I'm gonna put the little Vetru on there, because that should be able to keep this a little cooler. But I need to go grab the clips for this motherboard. There we go. Heatsink clips. Very important. Good to keep around. What did I do? What did I do? Get off of there. Here we go. Every piece of tech today, I swear. Everything just wants to fight me today. I have a weekly scheduled VR thing that I do after the stream every week, hence being weekly scheduled. I betcha Steam VR is going to give me trouble today. I betcha. That's the kind of day that I have been having today. Yeah. Okay. The veteran. Come here. Let's get some thermal paste on there. Like, everybody likes to make fun of, like, don't ever show how much thermal paste you put on the internet, but, like, has anybody seen the poor person who, like, built a 1500X, a Ryzen 1500X, and they put the sticker from the box that says, AMD Ryzen, they put it on their CPU, and then put their cooler on top of the sticker? Like, it's funny, good for memes to, like, not show how much thermal paste you put on things, but, like, also, it's okay for people to know what an appropriate amount of thermal paste is, and really, it's one of those things you can almost not really get wrong. If you put too much on, it just squidges out the sides. There we go. Okay. Now we're playing with bulldozer power. Oh god, this is going to be so bad. Where did I put the 6650 XT? Oh my god, I was just using it. There it is. Okay. Looming there like a threat. Let's fire this thing up and see if anything explodes. Oh right, I turned off the power strip. Power strip on. See if it fires up. Hey! Alright, let's flip over to the screen. Does it boot? Will it come up? Timo asks, was it expensive to ship? No. Most of the CPUs you can get out of China generally aren't. It's usually free shipping, it's usually some kind of like express mail or e-packet out of China. It's usually free shipping. Ryzen 9 says, dang, that's a cooler. It's okay. That was literally a $20 cooler. It looks like it is not booting. It is not having a nice time. I hear things. I hear things indicating that booting is happening. This is, like I said, this is like an e-waste level power supply. So you can hear when it's thinking. Let's see if we unplug the HDMI and plug it back in. That sometimes does it. As it seems like it's booting. The board has a VGA port. I could use the VGA port. As David calls it, the Mesozoic port. I could use the Mesozoic port. I'll give that a try real quick. So I'll plug this back into the VGA capture box. And then plug the VGA into the computer. Do we get a picture? No, we don't. Clarjon says, is it the computer or the capture card? I'm pretty sure it's the computer. Once the capture card is like doing the thing, it doesn't generally stop doing the thing. It sounds like Windows booted. It sounds like Windows is now shutting down. Correct, Walter Cardozo. No graphics card. It is an APU. It should have onboard graphics. The onboard graphics might not be working. Ryzen 9 says, I think it's dead, Jim. Oh, shoot. That's right. This power supply is too much for this graphics card. Oh, what do I have that's X8? Oh, shoot. Oh boy, what do I have that's X8 and only 6 PCI Express pins? Because I have an RX 480, which is it's a PCI Express 6-pin power, but it's the full 16 lanes. Shoot. I'll see if this thing just boots. I'll try one more time, see if it just boots, displays anything on the screen. Hey, there we go. Just try it again. There's the answer. Just try it again. Use the Mesozoic port. Alright. It's always the answer. Just use the Mesozoic port. Let's, God, if it runs Starfield, we're gonna play Starfield in 4x3. This is gonna be, if this works, this is gonna be amazing. Oh yeah, now we've got analog video, yeah! Let's see the task manager. Show me the task manager. Let's also check what resolution it's running at, because it seems curiously high res. We are running at 1600 by 1200. Yikes. It's 1400 by 1050. Here's 1280 by 960. So that's alright. I'll zoom stuff up for everybody on stream so y'all can see it. Whew. Sorry about the blown out graphics. It's I wonder if it's even an issue. Now that we're not running this in DOS. Let me reset the brightness on this. Because usually when I use this, I'm benchmarking a DOS machine, right? And like running something in mode X or running something with 3D is a completely different gamma than running in Windows. So let's see if that works. Oh boy, we've booted. I think we are just starting. Oh no, GOG is trying to update Cyberpunk. That's what it's doing. GOG is trying to update Cyberpunk. Please stop. Where's the downloads? Please stop. Oh no. I can't stop it. Oh no, we are getting some updates. The AMD User Experience Program. Using 36% of the CPU. I'd say that's probably a bad user experience. Just guessing. Just guessing, that's probably bad user experience. What on earth does this thing do? Oh, okay. Steam is finishing booting. Oh, this does not bode well for Starfield. I don't even know if Starfield's going to run. I don't think it actually runs on GCN GPUs, which is what the APU in this is. This is technically GCN. Oh, I bet that's what it's doing. It's installing the drivers. It's installing the drivers for the GPU. Timo says kill GOG. Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea, honestly. Because we're not going to run Starfield, or not going to run Cyberpunk just yet. Network service is using all of it. Delivery optimization. Are you running more Windows updates? Windows, for crying out loud. I will kill off GOG though, just to make sure it's not hooking into that delivery service. I'm sure at this point it's just installing drivers. That all of the usage that we're seeing is it's installing drivers. Yeah, so icons on the desktop just flashed. I think it's installing drivers. You have to realize that we're using something incredibly slow. What we think of as a normal timescale is not a normal timescale. Not for this machine. Let's see, I think the contrast might be off on this. Whoa. What is that? Okay, so if I move this down to like 50, maybe? Then does my brightness control become less weird? Yes, there we go. Set these both to 50 and everything looks just fine. Okay, that's better. The joys of analog video. Alright, let's quit GOG. Windows Update. Yep, it's just installing drivers. All this just to see single-digit frame rate in Starfield. All this just for single-digit frame rate in Starfield. Yep, there it is. Driver installation module. It's doing the driver install. It was there. I just misclicked. There it is. So while it's doing this, we should be able to take a look at CPU-Z and GPU-Z and see exactly what we're working with here. Just how bad it is. Oh, there's the driver install. Just as I open GPU-Z, I'm sure that's not a problem. There we go. Alright, we've got another resolution change. What did you set my resolution to? Windows? back to 1600 by 1200. Okay, so let's go back to 1280 by 960. The scaling is a little cozy, but I think it probably helps y'all see the stuff on the stream. I imagine the stream's not super great. There we go. A10 9700. Apparently it's just a 9700. Ryzen 5, you had found it. Or Ryzen 9 had found this, hadn't you? I thought you'd found it. Yeah, so it is an A10 9700. We've got AVX too. It should technically run Starfield. Technically. Although I'm not so sure about the graphics. I'm positive that there's a code check or something in here that's gonna keep it from running Starfield. Positive. I'm positive. Okay, Windows, what are you doing? Steam is updating things. Okay, fine. Let's just dive right into it. Let's see what it does. Tell me my GPU is too bad. Yep, there we go. Graphics card does not meet the minimum specifications requirements. What can I put in this thing? I'm thinking some cursed thoughts. I'm thinking about my dual SATA to 6-pin adapter, and then my dual 6-pin to 8-pin adapter. Oh, you know what? You know it'll work without any cursed adapters. I know it'll work without any cursed adapters. It's cursed all by itself. The 6400. That'll just go right in. That only uses 4 lanes. That'll work with this stupid motherboard and its broken PCI Express slot. Bingo. Bingo. Oh, this is going to be so bad. Yes. Exactly, Walter. RX 6400. The worst Radeon. Okay. Oh, that's gonna be so bad. Oh, it's gonna be so bad. I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. Oh, it's like gross. Where the heck is the HDMI port on this thing? There it is. Come on, get your butt in there. Welcome to today's episode of Amber Hates HDMI. Okay. Ah, yes. Oh, beautiful, it works. Oh, this is so dumb. I love it. Back to gaming on cursed hardware. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Right where we should be on this stream. The cursed didist of hardware. Welcome to the stream, Nathan. Nathan says, the first thing I hear when I click the stream is, I'm thinking some cursed thoughts, and I think that's the perfect introduction. So a lot's happened. In the 4-ish hours before stream, I attempted to get my Pentium 75 board working. However, it decided that today was the day it was going to stop working, because of this little guy. Everybody's favorite time bomb real-time clock chip. It did finally kick the bucket for me, so I just need to replace it. It just won't boot at this point. Without replacing that chip, it runs through post, stops, just halts. You can't get into the BIOS, you can't boot the board. Yeah, so in a mad dash to try and line up something in my backup pile for the stream, I tried my 486 board, which wouldn't even post for me. And then I tried this board with a Ryzen 2200G in it, which also wouldn't power on. It would spin the fans about 1 revolution and then stop. And then I finally tried my FX 6300 board, which did the same thing, and I knew that board worked. I knew 100% that board worked. So I swapped out my power supply, and unfortunately my EVGA 650BQ, my workhorse, has died. So we're back to running this board, except it's no longer running a 2200G. It's now running an AMD A10 9700, the FX chip for AM4, and it's bad. It's bad. Oh boy. Is this trying to auto-install drivers? It is. 100% CPU usage. It is trying to auto-install drivers. Oh my gosh. Should not fast. Should not fast. So that's where we are now. Have a good one, Clarjon1. Have a good one. I will catch you around once I get there. I mean, so the biggest issue with the Dallas chip replacement is that it's not like four pins on the back. It's quite a few. It's a big old dip module. It should be doable. I've got a desolderer, a vacuum desolderer. It's just gonna be a pain in the butt, you know? Frustrating. Especially since I tested this thing and it worked. It worked. And then apparently between that test a few months ago and now, the clock battery finally decided to die. But yeah, when those Dallas chips go out, they cause all kinds of weird problems with the board. And in this case, the board will, as I said, it will post, run through the whole power on self-test. I know it has 32 megs of RAM in it, which is wild. But it won't boot. It just won't boot. Yeah, the Dremel method is a method known to me. However, I don't have Dremel. So I'm just gonna have to desolder it. It shouldn't be that bad. Like I've reflowed all the traces on my Mac Plus's analog board. I managed to get that done. If I can do that, I can desolder a Dallas RTC. I can probably make it work. No, Walter. Walter asks, is it not socketed, the Dallas chip? It is not socketed. While Windows does updates here, let me flip y'all over to the desk. You can see it a little more closely. There we go. Perfect. So here's the top of the chip. You can see it's one of these big block chips. If I flip the board over, so there's the Dallas. If I flip the board over, that's the set of pins for it. You can see it's a dual inline package. All the ones that are super shiny are not connected. The ones that are not super shiny are connected. They're through-hole soldered. It's a fair amount of desoldering. The nice part is there's not a whole lot else going on around it on this board. So like, I don't have to worry about like messing around with a bunch of capacitors or, more importantly, like a bunch of plastic parts. Like if it was nearer to the ISA slots or something, like you could potentially run the risk of melting it by desoldering it. But this thing is just like, there's a few SMD components on there, which should be fine because I'm going to be working on the back side of the board with the desolderer, and it's real quick. It's just, you know, tap it on there, let it melt, hit the vacuum, and that's it. It's just gonna be a pain in the butt, you know? Like, I just wanted to show y'all the board today, and that was a no. The board said no. But the reason I wanted to show you the board today is because I had something that went along with it. A quantum Bigfoot, and this is a first generation Bigfoot. And it works. I received it earlier this week. It finally made its way over to me. I picked it up on eBay for like 20 bucks. It was from a computer recycler. They said it was tested working, but you know how shipping old hard drives is. I wasn't sure it was going to function. It does. I posted a short about it, and it is stuffed full. There are 38 megabytes free on this machine, on this drive. This is a 1.28 gigabyte drive. 1280 megabytes, and there's only 38 megabytes free on it. It is just stuffed full of stuff, all from like late 96, mid 97, early 98. Including a full Windows 95 install, and there's Office 97 on this thing, and yeah, it's wild. This thing is a time capsule back to like 1997. It's incredible. But that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to fire up the Pentium 75 and boot this disk and see what everything looked like. Dave says, that's a big mama. Yes, it is. 5.25 inches and half height. It's a weird form factor. Like the really early hard drives, like the MFM hard drives, were 5.25 inch, but they were full height. And this was... It's just weird to see. 5.25 inch, half height. That's a big drive. You can see, like, there's the IDE connector on the back. It's just so huge. You have a pretty normal hard drive control board on it, and then you've got a bunch of extra space because it's a gigantic drive. But yeah, this was the reason I was going to do the Pentium 75 today, and unfortunately, it'll have to wait for some time in the future. Walter Cardozo asks, do you know Necroware channel? I do. I'm planning on picking up one of Necroware's Dallas replacement modules, and that's what I'll replace it with. Walter says, that drive gives me nightmares. I love these. So, I told the story earlier in the stream, but I worked for the computer club, and I helped out the AV and computer team at my high school. So that would have been like 96, 97, 98, 99. And we had a computer lab full of compact desk pros or whatever. They were, the little squat white boxes with like a sculpted front side, and then like the rest of it was just a plain white box. But they had a stack of like 2 or 3, I don't remember, 5 1/4 inch drives on the side of the box, right on the side of the case. And if you opened one of those up, underneath those external drives was this, sitting right on the bottom, just sitting on the bottom of the case underneath the other 5 1/4 inch drives. And I don't know, I thought they were cool. At one point we had to dismantle that computer lab to bring in new computers, and I managed to finagle one home with me, and I stuffed it in my 486, which was an AMD 5x86 133 at the time. And this was a lot of hard drive for my little 486, and I loved it. I love the noises that these make, and I love I don't know. I love the weird form factor, just a strange size, and the fact that it's cast on both sides is so wild. Like, that's a huge casting. That's just a bunch of cast aluminum. I can't imagine that these were actually like economically feasible to make back in the day. There's so much material that goes into them. Anyway, this is not my only Bigfoot. I've got 3 other Bigfoots. I have 2 earlier revisions. I think they're either this first generation or they're the second generation that don't work. But I think those two don't work in complementary ways, so I might be able to like do a board swap with them, maybe. And then I've got one of the 4th generation, the TS. That's it looks like Quantum's Enterprise drives they were making right near the end before Quantum died. It's a real weird looking. Like, it's got the black border around the outside, and then this cast piece is replaced with like a stamped piece of sheet metal. It's an interesting looking drive. That one works mostly. You can write to about half of the drive, and then once you hit a particular sector about halfway through the drive just kind of stops responding to the drive controller, on the IDE bus. It just stops responding. So it mostly works, and I figure I can use that one at least for something, and like partition off 2 gigs of it for like a DOS 622 install. I'd be perfectly fine with that. But this one works completely. I imaged the entire drive when I plugged it in and found out that it worked. I pulled the whole drive contents off of this one, so I have a full image of everything that's on it, and it didn't have one hiccup reading all 1280 megabytes, well 1242 megabytes, however many are left on this thing. With the 38 megabytes, it's free. But yeah, this thing works, and I love it. I love Bigfoots. Big feet? No, and that sounds wrong. I love Bigfoot drives. They're great. But yeah, my backup for the Pentium 75 not working was going to be my 486, because I had also tested my 486 board and it worked until this morning when I plugged it into my power supply and it didn't boot up. And at the time, this was just a couple of hours before stream. I did not realize that it was my power supply that was dead. So my 486 board is probably fine. We might do that next week. I'll take a look at it at some point this week and see if I can get it up and running. But yeah, that was gonna be the backup. No Blue Sky says found a Bigfoot with a full techno DJ setup 10 years ago. Unfortunately, didn't keep it. Yeah, stuff like that just passes through. This one's well, I know where it came from, given all the files on it, but it's definitely a time capsule. It's very strange. Unfortunately, it's not as interesting as having a DJ setup, but like, it is a lot of cool stuff on it. So, Pixel Pipe says, I just love the ridiculous concept of a 5 1/4 inch hard drive. Same. Honestly, I kind of want to get an MFM hard drive, like one of the old Seagates or the old Connors, because I love them. They're enormous, and they make weird noises. I like them. I like him. Let's see if anybody else in here. Dave says, sounds like Sunday fun for the Dallas clock. I might do it tomorrow morning. I don't know. It's been a day today. Y'all missed my complaining about trying to shoot the eclipse this morning, where all my camera batteries died too. Nothing has worked correctly. About 40 minutes into the stream, and I hear my UPS, my universal or my uninterruptible power supply, switch over to battery power. I'm like, oh really? In the middle of the stream? It's been a day. Oh, all right. Let's see what the Windows box is doing. Gaming on cursed hardware. It is still installing something. Although it looks like we've got graphics drivers now, because our aspect ratio is correct. So what does GPU-Z say? This is probably just like the WDM driver. I'm gonna have to go get the real driver, I think, if we're gonna play Starfield on this. Oh my god. Just launching GPU-Z! Jeez! Okay, so yeah, 22.5.2. Like, that's not terrible, but that's not gonna run Starfield. That is too old. Too old, too old, too old. Firefox decides it needs to update. Come on. Starting to hate computers. Really starting to hate computers. Why? It's not the computers, it's the software. Really starting to dislike software. Okay, graphics. 6000 series. 6400. Nope. I just want to do a manual install. There we go. Oh gosh. Temps feel just fine out of the back of that cooler. Can we get a sensor reading out of it in CPU-Z, or is it going to say no? No, I'm thinking of the sensors in GPU-Z, which I don't think there's a CPU temperature sensor in that. It is just the graphics card. Oh, can I change that? No. Darn. Alright, is this downloaded? That is downloaded. Excellent. Go away. Let's do another driver install. This will be great. This is riveting. Why do all my streams always devolve into this? We get 2 hours in and like we're installing driver software on stream. So this SSD, so a lot has happened at the lab. I decased my main PC, my gaming and VR PC. It's now in a test bench. It's in one of my 3D printed test benches. And this is like my capture card and my 3080 and my 5600X 3D, which I'm testing right now to see if it's going to be better than the 5800X 3D for what I do. That's all in a test bench now. Because of that, so I lost all my drive bays, right, because they're just not in a case anymore. And I decided, you know, since it's only doing gaming, I'm just going to use a single NVMe. So I picked up a 2 terabyte, I think Samsung Evo, like one of the, like the last gen Evo, like the 970 or something, because it was cheap. and just threw it in as the primary drive. So there's no SATA drives on that anymore. This drive here on the desk there, that was my previous boot drive. It is a what are you? It's a Crucial. It is a Crucial MX500. I think MX300. What are you? MX500. It is a fast SATA SSD. I've been pretty happy with it. Except when you get it really full of data, it starts to really lose. It starts to really wear down, and the remaining drive life goes down precipitously, which was not great to see. Here we go. Driver only. Install. Okay. Not great to see, as it was my boot drive and my primary, like, at the time, primary gaming, VR, channel editing, daily use PC, as I'm watching the drive remaining life go down and down and down. Not great. Don't really recommend them. Also, like, the BX drives are the DRAM-less, you know, quad level cells. So they're not great. The MX ones are fine. BX ones I wouldn't bother with. Oh, but honestly, these days, like, SSDs are a minefield. Like, there's so many low quality SSDs these days. Retro Techie, hello, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you. Meat Cities as the Seagates with the rubber shells were always memorable to me. Yeah, those were always weird. You see one and you're like, what is that even for? Walter says those drives were popular in Brazil in the late 90s. All the drives of that model failed. I mean, eventually all hard drives will fail, but yeah, I get what you mean. They weren't super reliable. Yeah, Ryzen9 says Samsung or bust. I mean, at that point, yeah, if you want an SSD you can rely on, which is sad to say because Samsung has also pulled some stuff with their drives to make them less reliable. But like I've had Intel SSDs, I've had that Crucial, I've had several Samsung SSDs. I've got a stack of ADATA SSDs. I've got a bunch of Levin SSDs. The most reliable and the most consistently performant SSDs I've had have been Samsung. That's just how it is. Oh, I made the mistake of building a machine around a PNY SSD once. I did it once. Because that thing lasted literally 6 weeks. And then, because it was a SandForce drive. You remember the SandForce drives? So it did the SandForce thing, right? It lasted about 6 weeks, and then it fell off the SATA bus and locked itself. And it was done. That was it. 6 weeks of SSD. Oh my god, I hated that drive. Okay, I think we're almost done installing drivers. We've had a bunch of screen refreshes. I can't give it too much crap because it's installing on an FX CPU. Like this doesn't take this long on like a normal CPU. Everything is slower on FX. No Blue Sky says BX500 are hot garbage indeed. Yeah, I mean, you gotta know what you're getting into with the QLC DRAM-less drives. Like, I have a few of them, and for some things, they're fine. Where's my... Like, I have a 2 terabyte... Somewhere here. I have a 2 terabyte SanDisk that's the same thing. It's QLC, it's DRAM-less. You know, I just use it for games. And actually, that was my game drive in my primary PC before I switched everything over to NVMe. And it was fine. The only issue was, like, if you had a big patch that you had to install, it would take forever because you'd get about 30 gigabytes written, and you'd run out of the TLC, the triple level cache area, and then it would it would slow down to the speed of a USB hard drive. Worse than a USB hard drive. Retro Techie says, I use 2 Blue Scuzzy in RAID 0 myself. Sure you do. Sure you do. Oh, I got this close. I got this close to trying to boot my 486 this morning using a Scuzzy drive because I was like, what on earth what am I going to use to run stream today since my Pentium 75 isn't working? And that's the thing I can do because for some reason, high school me kept... I didn't keep a lot of my 486, but one of the things I kept out of it was my Always in 2000 Scuzzy card. There is an ISA Scuzzy card. You get 50-pin Scuzzy on the internal, there's a floppy controller built into it, and you get a 25-pin. You get a 25-pin on the back. This thing is wild. I used this thing for years. Just years and years as a Scuzzy card, and like there's Linux drivers for this thing, so like I was able to image like I picked up an old SGI workstation at one point. I was able to image its drive using this. It was wild. But yeah, I just about got to booting a Blue Scuzzy off of this for my 486 because I could not find anything else that would work. All my SD cards are too big for my IDE controller on my 486. Alright, so we are rebooted. We have new drivers. I need to turn off notifications in Steam because y'all don't need to see every time one of my friends starts a game. Settings. Notifications. There we go. That should do it. Okay. Alright. Finally. Now what is it doing? What is it? Why is it 50% CPU usage? What is it doing? Steam. Okay, whatever. Let's run Starfield and see what it does. I gotta know. I gotta know. It's gonna have to recompile the stupid shaders again. And it's gonna have to do it on an FX. Darn it. Oh no, this is gonna take an age. Yeah, I mean that's all assuming that the Always in 2000 still works. I have no idea. Although everything that's on it, it's all tantalum capacitors. Although there's a clock crystal on here that's not looking the best. But like there's no electrolytic caps on it, so maybe it would still work. But yeah, that crystal not looking great. Some rust in there. I don't know. It probably shouldn't be rusty. Oh, have a good one, Ryzen 9. It was good to see you. Of course, you can always see how this thing suffers through Starfield in the VOD. Retrotech says all of that game's characters have dead eyes. Yes, yes. I'm waiting eagerly for the eyes replacer because, yeah, it's your standard Bethesda dead eyes. Timo says I have 2 Corsair 240 gig SSDs in my build. Built in 2015, they're still fine. Nice. Excellent. Okay. What is it doing? Oh, it's doing the thing. Yeah. It's gone unresponsive. It is launching the game. I don't know if anybody else has seen this, but like, and I don't know if it's on, oh geez. Yeah, there we go. I don't know if it's on older architectures or if it's just every time you change to a new architecture, like the first time you run Starfield after you've changed to a new architecture, at least that I've seen, it just like hammers all your CPU cores 100% for like an indeterminate amount of time before it even launches the game. And then once it launches, it should start. Oh boy. Oh boy. One thing you won't have to worry about, Retro Techie, is you won't have to worry about seeing anyone's eyes. The resolution that we're going to be running this at, I'm sure, you won't be able to see really anything. Oh, Retro Techie says I run it on Series S and Series X. Nice. I'm pretty sure, like, it's not new news that that's pretty much what it was designed for, right? Like, all the way back to Oblivion, Bethesda was targeting their RPGs at console, right? Like the port for Morrowind. Morrowind was a PC game, and then they ported it to Xbox, original Xbox. Yes, original Xbox. But then for Oblivion, like they targeted Xbox 360, and then what we got on the PC was whatever was left over. And it's been that way ever since. It's kind of funny that Oblivion and Skyrim both targeted Xbox 360. It's been so long. Skyrim came out so long ago. I'm enjoying Starfield, but like it's just making me want Elder Scrolls 6. That's what it's really doing. What is going on, Windows? Are you okay? Oh, you thought Starfield was slow on the 2200G. It's abysmal on the A10 9700. Oh boy. Oh boy. I don't want to close the process, but I do want my Alt Tab. Come on. Give me an Alt Tab. Does it really think this is the only running program? Okay, fine. I'd swear I had Task Manager open, but apparently not. We're gonna wait it out. That's right, Retrotechy, we are gamers. We are gonna wait for our game to load. That's definitely a thing that gamers do, instead of getting angry and killing off the process instantly, rerunning it. Oh my gosh. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Effortlessly. And it didn't even rebuild the shaders. Look at that, we can jump right into game. How cool is that? We only had to wait, I don't know how long. Oh boy. So let's load this up. This is the save I was at before, which is, it's just in New Atlantis. So no worries, no spoilers. I'm sure also no performance. This is gonna be so bad. Ah. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's take a peek. Yep, no, we are still loading. Just taking a peek down here. We are still loading. Oh yeah. Windows 7 beta installed on a Pentium 3. That would be excruciating. I mean, not that this isn't. This is also excruciating. Here we go. We are in. So we had 20, 23? No, 16. 17 FPS. With the APU on 2200G. We were not using a discrete graphics card. And for some reason, Afterburner has decided that we don't get statistics. Boy, that looks bad. Oh boy. Let's see if I can get Task Manager back up here. Okay. Where is... Oh, you know what happened? I know what happened. Because the default for Afterburner is to not start with Windows. That's why. Because that makes sense. Okay. Oh, definitely don't want to shoot anyone, not yet anyway. There we go. We've got a more powerful graphics card. I mean, say what you will about, about the 6400, but it is more powerful than an APU. And we're only getting 13 frames per second. Oh my gosh, that's so bad. We're only using half of the GPU too. I betcha. We could splurge on like resolution and settings. So we're at 1280 with 720, so we are at 720p. I'm going to turn the render resolution all the way up. Let's see what happens. We're still at low. You know, everything else is at low preset. But, yeah, there you go. Pretty much the same frame rate. Now we're using all the GPU, and we've got slightly more pixels on screen. Of course, it is still slower than the 2200G, just being an APU. Oh boy. Oh boy. "13 FPS. Yikes. Alright, well, that's awful. That's awful. Let's see about Stray. Oh wait, did this actually close? Is this still in the process of closing? I think it may have actually closed. Okay. So let's run Stray. Supposedly, the Series S graphics performance is somewhere in between like an RX 6400 and 6500 XT. Which seems low to me, but okay. I guess that puts things in perspective. Okay, so we are back in Stray. Did it keep my settings from last time, though? We were 720p medium last time, with a cinematic 23 FPS. So it's an SSD. It shouldn't be making any noise, but because this power supply is so garbage, it's such an e-waste level power supply, I can actually hear it when it's loading. It sounds like a very quiet hard drive. It's kind of funny. Oh, those stutters. Gotta get the stuff loaded into VRAM. Once it's in VRAM, it's fine. That's significantly better than the APU. So like Stray, Starfield obviously is CPU bound, so it doesn't matter how much GPU you throw at Starfield. If you've got a bad CPU, which this is a bad CPU, you're going to have a bad time. Stray, though, is GPU bound, and you throw in a better GPU, even with a garbage CPU, you're good. Let's scratch the carpet, because we're a good kitty. We're going to scratch the carpet. But yeah, this runs pretty okay. Oh, that loading stutter though. Whew. By the way, if you haven't played Stray, play it. It's very good. It's a very good game. I highly recommend it. Anyway, it runs like a dream on the FX. It doesn't have any problems when you pair it with a Xbox Series S class graphics card. Which I guess isn't that surprising. I wonder, how does Cyberpunk run on this? Hello, Andreas Garcia. Welcome to the stream. Long story short, the Pentium 75 decided today was going to be the day it no longer functions. So instead, we are looking at one of the last AMD FX CPUs produced, which is the A10 9700 APU for AM4. And we're going to see how it runs Cyberpunk. Starfield was quite bad. 13 FPS in Starfield. Although Stray is a little bit more CPU optimized, so it ran a little bit better. Once you added in a graphics card, it clocked up to about 50 FPS. Not bad at all. Oh, have a good one, Dave. Glad you could make it. I will try and get to your stream tomorrow morning. We'll see. Every time now I keep promising to come to your stream and then I don't because I'm a terrible friend and I'm sorry. No Blue Sky says, I didn't know about Stray, but I also don't have a real GPU, but a passive GT 1030. Honestly, it'll probably run on the GT 1030. It's very scalable. It's extremely scalable. Cyberpunk is still loading. I did check this on the 2200G before stream to make sure that like I had the install and everything was working and it wasn't broken. It did load, but boy did it take a long time. And this is no different. This is also taking a really long time. There we go. Okay. We are into Cyberpunk. Sort of. Oh, and I fixed the capture card thing, so you can actually like you can hear the stream audio now. I can't hear the stream audio, but I gotta figure out how best to do that, because like the last thing I want is to like stream a game and then get hit with a copyright strike because I'm playing game audio. Meat City says Cyberpunk needs an ASCII output mode for true dinosaurs. Yes. ASCII Cyberpunk would be fantastic. Yeah. Thank you, Nathan. Nathan says the audio is stuttering, so you probably don't want to hear it. Yeah, I imagine it's stuttering. This screen is not supposed to stay here this long. It's having a time. It's having a good old time trying to load. Oh boy. There we go. Come on. It wouldn't be so excruciating if you could, like, I don't know, skip this part. Just let me skip it. Let me skip it. Take me straight to the main menu. This is not at the right resolution at all. What is it even doing? Is it expecting 1080p? Or is it running with scaling? Shouldn't be scaling. Well, that's interesting. I can't type. Display settings. I think it's in borderless and it's stuck at 1080p. Let's see if I can get up to 900p. Hey, there we go. Now we've got a game we can actually see. Okay. Low preset. And yeah, borderless window. Okay. Oh boy. How many times have I said oh boy? I know based on my other machines, I don't usually get through this loading dialogue before it's loaded. Like it goes to like maybe the first scene change and then it's loaded. So this is taking an age. Just watching that loading bar, and it is not fast. Oh, there we go. Here we go, into Cyberpunk. Oh boy. Oh, I'm in a car. This is gonna be so bad. This is how you get the streaming data errors, isn't it? By driving a car on a CPU that can't handle it? I don't even know where I am in this playthrough. I think I was just messing around. I think this is the playthrough... Oh, geez. I think this is the playthrough I was using for my 1080 Ti testing. We'll go over here. This is fine. The car physics are so bad. And what do we got over here? No, I'll park that there. Perfect. $18, $19, $20, $20 FPS. I saw a 24 in there for a second. Honestly, I'm surprised it's actually running as well as it is. Like, this isn't good, but I'm surprised it's running as well as it is on this processor. Once again, CPU usage is pegged 100%. We're using about I don't know, 60% of the GPU. It's bouncing around a lot. Which means we could probably technically take this up to 1080p and not lose any performance, which is kind of terrifying. Oh, that's right, it's windowed borderless. Let's see if we can do full screen, 1080p. Apply. Meat City says, so now to overclock it to playability. I don't think it's gonna do that, I'm pretty sure. Well, there we go. If we ditch the borderless window, now we're at... Okay, never mind. Well, we're at like 23 FPS. Going exclusive full screen does help. We're still only using about 85% of the GPU, it looks like. At 1080p low. That's not terrible. I think there is technically a game underneath all this smearing and... Like, what even is this texture? What even is that? That's... Yikes. Yikes is what that is. And that's like 30 FPS. That's impressive. Well, well. I don't know if that's good or not, but it runs better than I thought it was going to. I'm kind of impressed. I might have to do more testing on this. So one of the things, so part of the reason I got this thing, right, was to do meme videos like this on it. But also, I picked up, one sec. Nope, come on. There we go. I picked up its equivalent, this CPU's equivalent, for Socket FM2, which is a cool find. This was like $12, because it's really hard to find a board that'll actually run these things anymore. But its equivalent on FM2 was like $60 because they're extremely rare. It's literally the last APU that AMD made for FM2, and it's almost identical. It's the same architecture, it's the same revision. Like, this uses excavator cores. So does the what is it, the A87680 or something? I don't know. But what I want to do is compare the two, right? So I've got essentially the same APU running on two completely different platforms. On FM2, which is sort of a cut down, AM3. It's kind of the predecessor to AM4, right? Like it's a fusion controller hub with an SoC on your CPU, and then DDR3 all the way through the system. Versus AM4, where you've got essentially a fusion controller hub. Promontory is a fusion controller hub, and it's DDR4. And yeah, I think it'd be an interesting comparison. So that's what's upcoming. That's why I have this. I've also got its equivalent on FM2, and I'm going to take a look at it in a video at some point in the future. That is in the works. That's basically the reason I did this, not just for the memes on stream, but like I set this up to accept the AM4 version of this so that I can do that comparison, because I think it'd be interesting to see. Anyway, yeah, No Blue Sky says it kind of works. Yeah, it does kind of work. It's kind of weird that it kind of works. But that's it for today's stream. Hopefully y'all had fun, and I am going to, like I said, I've got a bunch going on in the next couple of weeks here. That's not channel related. I have a bunch of stuff going on in my real life. I might be able to get to that real-time clock in December, but my spending limit right now is basically nothing, because I've got a bunch of expenses coming up at the end of the end of November, beginning of December. So we'll see. Maybe it'll happen after the first of the year. I don't know. But then I'm trying to move also in March when my lease is up, so I don't know when it's gonna happen. Anyway, I will try and keep y'all informed and get that fixed up and working, because it'd be kind of cool. Kind of cool. I love that board. I really want it to work. Anyway, that's it for the stream. Meat says just thanks for the stream. It's an enjoyable watch while compiling my way out of dependency hell. Best of luck. That sounds like a place I do not want to be. Good luck, and I hope everybody has a good night. And as always, may the PC parts be ever in your favor. Have a good night.